So what is stealing your energy? Hey guys, it's Dr. Eric, the fitness physician, where I talk about my trademark muscle medicine approach, hormonal fitness, health and performance optimization, and so much more, as you know. So we're gonna have some fun today. So I did a little post about what I call metabolic saboteurs. What's stealing your energy and your vitality, and how you can reclaim it. So I hear this a lot. I have some people that I hear this story frequently. They kind of get they get that afternoon crash. They're kind of tired, and I've talked a little bit about this before. But what I really want to talk about is, again, I talk about basically boosting your metabolism, keeping your energy high throughout the day. And there's a lot of things that steal this throughout the day, above and beyond the typical things, right? And it's not that your metabolism is broken, but there are some things that are disrupting your day, like the hidden disruptors, right? These are the things I talk about. Nothing like not exotic toxins or weird mutations or anything like that, but just some of the common things I see. And a lot of times I mention this to people, they're like, yeah, I hear that, but they don't do it. They forget about it. So again, it has to do with timing into your biology, circadian rhythms, and so much more. And we can do this. You can have sustained energy, you can have effortless weight management, sharp mental clarity, deep restorative sleep, and a resilience to stress. So if not, then if you're not, and these things are off, and these might be the reasons why. Some of these sneaky little things, right? So what's the first one, right? Most people know about, right? Processed foods, right? These are things that can steal your energy, of course, right? Again, I talk about mitochondrial health, those little powerhouse in your cells that do so much more. They create energy, they create structured water in your cells, they create light, they create energy, they create signaling pathways, reduce inflammation, they do so much more. But they need fuel to grow. They've been millions of years of ancestral evolution. Basically basically they thrive on sun grown nutrient-dense food. They thrive on energy, thrive on sunlight, right? They don't even need food. They need that light energy. You need real food, right? Not just the processed stuff. So again, when you eat processed foods, these are synthetic compounds. They disrupt your mitochondria, right? It's kind of like plugging up your engine, right? Instead of putting your high octane fuel, you're putting in junk. You can have deuterium overload, things that have abnormal high levels of deuterium, which are a different form of hydrogen that literally kind of clogs up the machinery, right? They're not meant to run. They want lower deuterium. This depends on your latitude, where you are in relation to the equator and the sun, how much you can tolerate. They can be other issues of processed foods. It can deplete electrons, right? Again, natural foods carry an electrical charge from the sun and from the earth. Processed foods are kind of devoid of They're electrons, right? They're dead, making your body use its own energy reserves instead of fueling it with energy. The other thing is artificial ingredients can trigger low-grade inflammation, which again creates a metabolic environment where fat burn becomes impossible. Energy, basically clear thinking is dead, right? So these processed foods can basically eliminate. We all know about its effect on insulin resistance, inflammation, but also affects the things at the mitochondrial level, at the cellular level. So again, focus on eating real food, right? At least, preferably all of it, but at least 80 to 90% should be local, organic, whole foods. You shouldn't have to read an ingredient list, right? Shop the perimeter of your grocery store. If it comes in a package, box, bag, or can, probably shouldn't be eating it, right? Just eat real food. And again, seasonal eating, aligning your food choices with what's available in your region during your time season. You can look this up online, but during the winter, and a lot of us, I'm guilty of this too lately, and I'm trying to change that. During the winter, probably shouldn't be loading up on tons of fruits, right? Things that you don't typically have during the winter. During the summer, that's when we're having more sunlight, more seasonal, citrus fruits, more fruits and vegetables. During the winter, kind of focus more, almost, more of a more paleo, kind of a keto style, because that's typically that's what our ancestors did, right? Again, it depends on where you were. If you're living near the equator, you probably eat fruit all year round. But if you're up, here where me in Ohio and Northeast, you're probably not doing that. So try to eat what's seasonally available, and when it's time to eat that type of food, when it's seasonally available, that's when you should eat it. If not, you probably shouldn't be. That's how you tune into your circadian rhythm. What's the next one? Late night eating. I talk about this a lot. I'm guilty of this. Sometimes I get those late night snacks, right? You're all like sitting there watching TV and like, I'm kind of hungry. Not the time. I tell everybody not to eat at least 3 or 4 hours before bed. Your digestive system isn't an operation that should be running 24/7, right? It follows the rhythm of the sun, just like every other part of your body. It follows these circadian pathways. When the sun sets, your stomach acid production decreases, your enzyme output drops, and your entire digestive system kind of goes into maintenance mode. That's when your body creates this process that everybody's heard about called autophagy. And at night is when you clear up all the dead cells, you rebuild tissue, your growth hormones decrease, all your hormones are optimized, your body's set to heal itself and grow, consolidate memories in the brain, and get you primed for the next day. So again, after sunset, your body's making way less stomach acid, up to 70% less. So if you eat something, it's going to sit there and it's going to digest, and it's not going to do very well. It's not going to digest very well. It's going to ferment and cause some problems. Then you're utilize energy away from your rebuilding your autophagy into digestion, right? Again, you're stealing gut recovery, right? Anything that you should be going towards cellular repair and hormone production gets diverted into trying to break down that meal. And you wake up tired because your body worked at night instead of recovering. Again, circadian confusion, right? Late night eating sends signals to your brain. You're like, what am I doing? I'm supposed to be healing, repairing, and instead I got this food sitting here. Not good. So again, minimum 3 hour rule, 3 to 4 hours, gap between your last meal and bedtime, preferably 5, but try to do at least 3, right? This allows your digestive system to complete its work and go into recovery mode. Being aware of the sun, I talk about this a lot. As the sunset started winding down your eating, right? Your body's preparing for that overnight fast for cellular cleanup. So when the sun goes down, that's probably dim the lights, put the blue blockers on, get off your devices, put them in night shift mode. Don't eat, just hydrate, just do some fluids, and that's about it. Kind of think of morning feast, evening fast, right? Make breakfast, lunch should be the bigger meals of the day, and then trim it down at night. Dinner should be the smallest meal. Just try to, eat big in the morning and slowly go down because your insulin sensitivity decreases as the day goes on. The circadian rhythms change. So again, morning feast, evening fast. So again, I've had clients have done this before. We shifted that rhythm. Even if you want to fast, try to do it the other way. Stop, skip a dinner if you have to fast, if you want to fast, but that's the best way to do it. Number 3, constant snacking. This kind of goes hand in hand with the one I just talked about. But again, we hear about like eating small, frequent meals throughout the day. Some people can do this. I actually feel better when I do this, but I try to space a little bit more, not eating every 2 or 3 hours. That's a lot, right? But again, if you're doing this all the time, your body's always eating. You're never getting your gut a chance to heal, get that migrating motor complex where your intestines moving things through. You're supposed to give it some time to not have food, right? So the other thing is, you get insulin overload, right? Everybody worries about insulin. Not always a bad thing. You want it high at certain times. Again, it's all about the timing, but you don't want to be constantly snacking throughout the day. The other thing that can be affected is leptin. Leptin resistance I talk about as well. It's the satiety hormone, amongst other things. It's a master hormone, does so much more for the body, but it becomes overwhelmed when it's constant signaling, constant eating. You lose that ability to feel satisfied and develop persistent hunger, even when you've eaten enough. And then you get the affecting the autophagy, the cellular cleanup I was talking about. Your cells have that built-in maintenance system. And again, autophagy it can't work when you're constantly snacking and feeding your pie hole, right? So, and then the last one is metabolic inflexibility. Your body loses that ability to kind of switch between burning glucose and burning fat. You want to do this by spreading it out. So this switch is, meal timing, contain your eating. Some people like to do it within, 6 to 10, hours or that 16-8 fast. But if you just want to do 12 to 12, totally fine. But at least it allows, 4 to 5 hours between meals, minimum. Some people can only do, if you want to do 3, kind of like me, I tend to eat every 3 to 4 because I just don't do well digesting big meals, but other people can do. But in general, roughly 4 to 5 hours between meals is going to give your time to insulin to regulate, your body to clean up, tap into those fat stores just a little bit and let your gut heal. Again, focusing on quality over frequency, right? Make each meal substantial and satisfying with adequate protein, healthy fats, and nutrient-dense carbohydrates. This will make you feel full and happy. You're not going to be done an hour later like craving something. You're going to feel full. You're going to feel satisfied. Number 4, dim morning light, right? This is that hibernation signal. A lot of people start their day in metabolic hibernation mode. They don't even realize it, right? You need that morning light to send your body to her daytime activation, right? Otherwise, you're gonna be stuck in nighttime settings, letting you feel sluggish and groggy. So that's why I'm big on getting outside, looking at the sun. You jumpstart your cortisol, you jumpstart your melatonin for that night. You get all your circadian rhythms aligned. That again, that light hitting your retina, that signals the hypothalamus through the suprachiasmatic nucleus into your brain. So it tells your body, your hypothalamus, your master control center, your master circadian rhythm set point to activate those cascade of hormones to control energy, mood, metabolism. So it's going to help you wake up, help you power through the day, and help you sleep good that night. It's also important, as I mentioned, for cortisol, right? Morning light triggers that cortisol spike to help energize you right through the day. And then throughout the day, you're going to go down that way. You're not relying on caffeine. You shouldn't be slamming down coffee right away. Give your body your cortisol, your normal rhythms to kind of go into rhythm. And then maybe an hour or 2 or 3 later, have your caffeine. And some people can do fine with caffeine in the morning. That's totally fine. Everybody's different. But in general, that's the best way to do it. Thyroid activation is important as well. Your thyroid function is also influenced by light exposure. Mitochondria influenced by light. Thyroid influenced by light, and as it did in previous video, they interact. These two interact and affect each other. So again, this bright light optimizes T3 production and conversion of T4 into T3. So it's that active hormone that gets your metabolism rolling. So light literally turns on genes in the brain to help with fat burning, energy production. So staying indoors affects this. So that's why, again, I big on getting outside as much as you can throughout the day, especially during the nice weather. And it's certainly first thing in the morning, at least for a few minutes, even 5 minutes in the morning, getting that sun in your eyes and getting out in and out throughout the day. Look at the apps they have on their phone to find the best time to get outside to get vitamin D, that high infrared light, UVA, UVB light that stimulates mitochondrial, stimulates your hormones and gets your circadian rhythms in alignment. Like I said, 5-10 minutes outside within that first half hour, even on cloudy days. Okay, try to get up in the sun. Try to get out in the afternoon when vitamin D is at its peak, and even in the evening, try to look at that sunset. It helps you get that evening wind down. Help with melatonin production more. Try to be consistent every day, even on the weekends. Your circadian rhythm thrives on consistency, so you want to be consistent, right? Last one is number 5 is nighttime light pollution, kind of the opposite, right? And light in the morning. opposite at night. So we know about melatonin suppression with blue light. So LED bulbs, screens, devices, this suppresses by melatonin by up to 90% or more. And melatonin is not just for sleep. It's your body's master antioxidant. It's a repair hormone. It's an anabolic hormone, anti-inflammatory hormone. So much does so much more. Nighttime light exposure can disrupt leptin and ghrelin, the hunger hormone, growth hormone, and cortisol. You become hungry, you store more fat, and you don't sleep well. So optimizing your hormones is key. This is an easy thing you could do at night to optimize your hormones. It's also important for mitochondrial maintenance, right? Your cellular powerhouse, they need darkness to perform overnight maintenance and repair. So artificial light interferes with that. So your body, again, relies on the natural dark rhythm. So at night, wear blue blockers. When the sun goes down, you should be thinking that too. Use red or amber lighting in the evening on your night shift mode, red light mode, dim all the light, all the overhead lights, maybe have some candles or red lights around. Try to get off completely all devices an hour or two before bed. If you're going to be out, read a book, get a red light beside your bed or a candle and read. Darkness, make your room as dark as possible. Use blue blockers and get the night going as much as possible. So this is one of the many things I do with my triple integration approach with circadian rhythms, lifestyle, nutrition, fitness, hormone optimization, and advanced longevity strategies that involve small molecules, peptides, and so much more. And if you're working with the Primex VIP Club, you can be part of the tribe. Be part of the Primex tribe. If you're interested, reach out to me. I'm doing telemedicine all across the country. I'm doing deep dive protocols just like this as part of the program. So check out drericprimex.com. If you please like and share this post and you're interested, let me know. Happy to chat more. And I hope you enjoyed this and start implementing these to get your energy power back, recover, and get health and performance optimization that you desire. Everybody have a great day, and we'll talk to you soon.